Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I think it's my third time in Kenya, and I love it. So I love Africa. Many people here knows that, and I love Kenya, so thanks for having me. Today, I'll be talking about innovation in Africa. But innovation is something that needs to come on top of something solid that works, something that you can rely on, and something where you can develop. So Juniper is built on open systems, and Juniper will allow you to build platforms to innovate on top of that and create this localization that it's needed. Today I'll be talking about demystifying the AI-driven enterprise. So what the hell is that? We'll cover that a little bit, but basically bringing artificial intelligence into the enterprise networks and get the enterprise focus on their day-to-day business and use artificial intelligence to manage and solve the problems of the network, which are very important. I'll cover some of them. So let me start with a little bit of this digital world, how it is changing. And again, we all use very busy slides, so I won't read through all the points, but hopefully you'll get the slides later on. I would like to cover some of the key things that are changing in this digital world. So the first one is the architecture of networks. This is evolving, it's changing, and it requires more resiliency, but also scalability. You cannot build a business on something that is not scalable if you pretend to build a scalable business or something that you can rely on. A network down means an outage can mean that your company is not being able to send invoices, which is probably the worst thing that can happen. Also, another thing that is changing is people need to access from everywhere. COVID told us, people working from home, remote offices, and this is becoming now the normal, right? This hybrid space. So access everything from everywhere. And this will open up some security issues as well. So we need to cover not only the connectivity, but also the security. And those cybersecurity attacks, I think we've just seen the beginning of that. Yesterday I saw Ferrari was hacked, and they are now asking money. And apparently, I'm not sure if there's any Ferrari holder in the room, but maybe you get a question from someone, or maybe your data gets exposed. Not only Ferrari, but also hospitals. We see one in Barcelona 3 weeks ago. They had to stop surgery for 3 days, one of the most important hospitals in Barcelona. So this impacts not only the business, but also the real life. So cybersecurity attacks, extremely important to protect. And also the networks, the systems, everything becomes very, very distributed. We cannot think a model where everything is in a remote cloud that we cannot manage, operate, access. We need things closer, we need things to be accessible and provide the right experience. Experience will be the topic of today, because we'll see that experience is what matters the most for our clients. Our clients being telcos and service providers, but our clients also being the rest of enterprises. The experience of the user will be extremely important. So we need to help enterprises to achieve their objectives, and the key objectives are always reduce the complexity of very complex networks with different stacks, optimize the operations. Things need to be quick, not only to fix problems, of course this needs to be quick, but also to develop innovation. This needs to come optimized. Also prioritize the customer experience and the client experience, as we said, and improve the return of investment. We need to help the IT department, the IT guy, to defend investments. These will have a return in the company. And we know that sometimes we just like to pitch the technology and we forget a little bit about the business. Those two things need to come together if we expect heavy investment in that space, because there is a return, both in front office, but also in back office systems. So now that we've seen the challenges, one of the top challenges of solving complexity can be solved by one key magic word, and it is automation. But automation requires investment and requires new skills, and we need to do it in buckets, in different parts. So the 3 areas where Juniper focuses on automation is campus and branch networks, so the different networks that could be in the different offices of the companies, very distributed, as we said. Large-scale data centers and connectivity. Connectivity across multiple parts, whether it's in the enterprise or it's in the service provider. Let me talk a little bit about them, but very, very quickly, because we don't have much time today. The Juniper strategy on the very top, as you see, is building experience-first networks. And under that, we have specialized solutions and markets around automated WAN solutions, cloud-ready data centers, and AI-driven enterprise. In the breaks, we'll be there, so we can have any conversation of that. But today, I will focus on a couple of them a little bit. And our markets, as I said, cloud providers, service providers, and enterprises. So now that we understand the strategy, I think it's important to see how this gets implemented. And our vision is that experience, or user experience, is something that needs to be driven client to cloud, end to end. It cannot be just, I have experience in this part or this other part. It needs to be end to end. In order to do that, you need visibility. You need to be able to have a view end to end of this. From the client to the wireless, wired, SD-WAN, all the parts, but also inside the telco's network, and further into the data center. So as you see, that is our vision, and this is how we are implementing it. It's not just us saying that. We have a lot of market recognition. You probably heard about Gartner, and Gartner, they do these magic quadrants every year. So we've achieved already several times, 3 times now, the third time we are the leader in wired and wireless LAN infrastructure. So you can think of any other vendor doing Wi-Fi and LAN, Juniper is better than them according to Gartner. So I think there's no one in this room that can avoid at least considering Juniper, why Juniper is positioned there. So I think that's a good conversation we can have. It's not only for wired and wireless, also for data center and cloud, the SD-WAN, the firewalls, indoor location. I'll talk a little bit about those things as well. Let's start with the data center. I have just 2 or 3 slides. As I said, the most important thing on the data center today, data center networks, of course, is the area we normally talk about here, is the automation of that. And the automation needs to help the life cycle of this, and Juniper brings a product here. It's called Apstra. And Apstra, we can talk a little bit more detail later, but it provides, it's the only solution in the market that it's multi-vendor. It means you may think, I don't have Juniper in my data center network, but you can still use Apstra to automate that. And then over time, you can bring other vendors, including Juniper, of course. But this automation, the key differentiation is that it's intent-based, and basically this accelerates the return of investments. In a few months, the investment in our software, it's paid by itself. And I think that's key, and everyone in this room that owns and manages data centers should look into that. Because what we bring is not just the speed of managing a data center, we bring the reliability needed for this agility. Okay? High speed, back to the Ferrari, without a seatbelt, probably is not a good idea, right? So we want the safety, we want the reliability, if we want to achieve that speed for our business. Trying to click, okay. I think I want to go to the previous slide very quickly. This button. The key results that our customers achieve when they use our data center infrastructure and services and systems is a faster mean time to repair. When something breaks, when there is an outage, we get it up running 70% faster. This time matters. Imagine a data center down for a big bang. What happens? So if you can reduce it by to 70% of the time you used to take, it is good. We have a lot of other statistics here. Also, your teams, you don't need a large team to manage a lot of servers. We can use, every person can manage two times more devices. We deploy virtual machines in minutes, not in days, and we help this operational efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. So it is key, automation, it's key for the management of those data centers in the industry today. Let me change gears, and we're going to the other important part. We believe it's extremely important, and it's a distributed enterprise, the branch, but also the large campuses of enterprises and in any sector. Here's where AI brings automation to the next level. So we can put people to automate things, but we can put also AI to drive this automation. And I'll show you how. The branch architecture, or the architecture of most enterprises, has been like this for many, many years. So basically, you would have the user connected to an access point or a switch. Then you have the branch gateway, the router, and then you have some security, and it connects out there. Each one will have its own management system. You have people managing this. Little visibility across it, end-to-end. It all be up and running, but still there is no connectivity sometimes end-to-end. So the user experience can be really bad if you only look at if the system is up. No LAN, WAN integration. The LAN and WAN, they run in silos, completely different. Distributed enterprise needs to change, and we are bringing that vision, and we are actually executing on that, and we have a solution for this. And our solution, that we call it a mist in Juniper, basically we are bringing all those elements under one umbrella, a unified management that will manage this across all the systems, from on-prem to the cloud, and you can ask and interrogate the system to know what is not working well or where you can improve. Why would you choose Mist AI from Juniper for your system? Well, many companies did, so I think that's a good sign already. But also the comments and the results they are achieving, they are phenomenal. So basically, a lot of those companies will see that the number of tickets have reduced, the time to deploy is much faster, they can get their hands onto AI from day one. The AI is not a promise, it's something that can work today. They can integrate it into their systems. So it's fully API driven. If you already have a system for tickets or to manage other things, you can bring it there very, very easily. But in a nutshell, what we do is we are enhancing that experience for the user. We do it with this reliable and consistent Wi-Fi connectivity everywhere that we deliver to the employees and to your guests as well, when they come into your shops, your restaurants, your hospitals, your hotels, right? So what is worse when you go into an airport or somewhere you pay for Wi-Fi and then it doesn't work? That's the worst service you can provide, right? You won't spend a minute to open a ticket and complain because your flight is leaving probably in 1 hour or two. But your memory of that is not good, and probably you will be tweeting about that bad experience. So that reputation may hurt your business. But also the WAN is a big problem sometimes. SD-WAN, multiple ISPs, I have 5G backups, all that, but is it all working? I want to know. So then we need to be able to interrogate the system. And the administrators need to simplify their life. They cannot just run ticket after ticket and solving problems. They should be there upfront and get that information. So how do we do that? So basically, our system gives the client visibility, AI-driven support operations. It's all based, cloud-based, and we use microservices that they get updated basically in weekly basis. Same as your Netflix app on your TV, that it gets updated, you do nothing, and you always have the latest release of the software. This is how we operate in those microservices without a disruption. Finally, we give a second life to our access points. I was looking before the ceiling of this room, how many sensors and things are here. So how about having an access point that can give you the number of people in this room, where they are located, where are the heat zones, obviously giving a good Wi-Fi system, but also giving me a navigation to get back to my room, indoor, with precision, telling me where all the systems are, even measure the pressure of the air and maybe temperature in one system. So this is something you can do with our access points. So I think that's also cool. Some people get a bit scared. Oh, it's too much. Will my team be able to deploy that? We make it extremely simple. You get the equipment, you scan with the QR code, you plug it in, it's all done. It connects to your network and it downloads all the configuration automatically. So we wanted to do it as an ABC, easy to deploy, easy to operate, and easy to manage end-to-end. How we do that? So that's our monitor system. So you just go and click wired, and you see the problems on the wired or on the WAN or on the wireless. And basically, what we measure is the success. This is the experience, and this experience is measured on hundreds of inputs that they get from the access points, from the switches, from the WAN. And with that, it can tell you if a user is happy or not. We have two ways to interact with this AI engine. One is what we call Marvis, through Marvis Actions. And Marvis Actions is something that in the morning when the operator gets and sits in their room, instead of looking at all the tickets, they go there and say, you have 10 actions. You have actions in your switch, you double click, actually you need to fix this VLAN. By fixing that VLAN, you solved maybe 100 tickets already that were opened in your organization. You may click there, oh, DHCP maybe has a problem. Maybe you need to improve something or put more IPs in the pool. As you see, now the AI tells me what to do to bring the best experience. And you can also troubleshoot that and say, why this problem? And it will has packet captures of things that happened in the past. But we have something even cooler, and it's called this conversational AI interface. You've all used Siri or Alexa or Google now. Every time I say Siri, sometimes my watch starts talking to me, not today. But basically, as you see, it's a human language. You can ask, tell me why John Smith is not happy today. He called 3 times. You say, oh, he has bad experience with his Zoom calls. They are down. And why they are down? Oh, because he's far away from an access point, or his access point is down, or there's a bad VLAN configuration, or one of the ISPs in the SD-WAN is not working. So you see that he is basically telling and pointing you the problem so you can fix it very quickly. So we talk about technology, but we talk about the business outcomes of the technology. Those business outcomes should improve the customer engagement, or we use the customer engagement to improve their experience. Also to gain additional insight. Things maybe tells me the system is okay, but if you put another access point in that corner, it would be better, right? So it tells you with those insights things that you could do to keep improving. It can tell you aspects on your VLAN, on your SD-WAN. It can tell you maybe add another ISP to have better connectivity with Google, right? Because this the jitter you're getting there with the Google Cloud is not doing well. Maybe just change that mix. Also drive greater revenue. We're helping customers to get more revenue by offering this data and for them in a way they can use it. And this accelerates the digital transformation of their business. Imagine a grocery store. Walmart. Walmart was one of the logos before, one of the largest retailer in the world, in the US. So Walmart uses Mist in their places. It gives them a heat map on where the customers are walking, where are them in every time. This information has been there for many years, but it was sitting in a hard drive of an IT guy. You say, okay, interesting, but I don't know what to do with that. As soon as we expose this data, and we give it to a marketing department or a sales department and present it in a way, they can start monetizing that and say, oh, Mr. Coca-Cola, if you want to be well-positioned, I'll put you in that place. I can charge you more because I know there's more people going through that. You see that they are monetizing information that was sitting somewhere and no one would ever look into this. So that information is there, we make it available, and so then we provide the best Wi-Fi experience, but also the best digital engagement and also accelerating the digital transformation. So some people in the room may think, who is Juniper? So Juniper is a company that's been around since 1996, I guess. We started more from the networking space. Nowadays we are over 10,000 employees in 120 locations, 50 countries, and also we provide this 24/7 availability. We are obsessed now on reducing the carbon footprint in our systems and on our customer systems, and we are basically the first company in the market that we are packaging, fully recycling for all our systems. This is also important, also for emerging markets where we know that waste is sometimes difficult to get rid of it. This comes all together with our market-leading solutions that I presented before, and also industry-leading wireless, SD-WAN. AI-driven insights that help our customers to improve. I talked a lot about data center at the beginning. Now I'm talking a lot about campus and branch. If there's any service provider in the room that would like to have a conversation with us later on, we'll be there talking about also how to automate the MPLS network for the 5G deployments and for other aspects. I think with that, I'll finish here. If anyone has another conversation later with us, we'll be very glad. But I think everyone would be intrigued to be able how you can reduce by 96% the travel tickets in your networks. Thank you very much, and see you around. Thank you.